Hey guys, Level Cap here, and today I'm going to be reviewing PlanetSide 2, the MMO FPS game for the PC. Now this is a free-to-play game, and it came out on the 20th. Now you guys might be thinking, well, Level Cap, this is an MMO, a massive game. Do you really feel confident in reviewing such a game only 2 days after release? Well, I've been playing the beta for several months now. I have a really good feel for how the game plays out, and I've put so many hours into the game since it actually launched. It's insane. In fact, at the end of the first day of playing, I was level 17. I looked at the leaderboards, and I was the highest ranked player on my server. So I think it's safe to say that I've definitely put in my fair amount of time with the final release in just the few days that I've had to play with it. Now, before I get into all the nitty-gritty details of this game, let me just say I am a gamer of 27 years old. I chose the name Level Cap not only because it's kind of an ego boost, but also because I wanted to sort of portray the idea that I've reached the level cap. I've played all the games, I've sort of seen everything that there is to see, and there's not a lot of things nowadays that can really wow me in a video game. Well, PlanetSide 2 has proven me wrong. I've been playing this game for 2 days, and I've already had multiple experiences that top any gaming experience I've ever had. I think the battles, the dynamic world of PlanetSide 2, the gunplay, the artwork, everything about this coming together make a game that is just absolutely unrivaled. And not only is it unrivaled, but there's nothing out there that can even come close to replicating the battles and the experience that you will have in PlanetSide 2. This is the kind of game that PC gamers live for, and the kind of game that I urge anybody who's a console nut out there to really consider getting a PC. Now, this game's not coming to consoles anytime soon, because what it's trying to do with the amount of players in any single battle, that's 2,000 players per continent, give or take a few hundred, I'm sure, is just, you can't have this kind of performance on a console currently just because you need top-end hardware to run this game. I'm running a pretty beastie gaming PC. I can run Battlefield 3 on high graphics and usually achieve around 100 or more frames per second. PlanetSide 2, when the battles get running and are very intense, the frame rate drops down to 40, sometimes 30 frames per second, which is extremely low for a PC of the caliber that I'm running. Now, that's not to say that PlanetSide 2 hasn't been properly optimized. It's just trying to do a scale of gaming that no other game out there has actually attempted before. And the fact that they actually have it running and working is a huge testament to the coding and the dev team. Now let's talk a little bit about what PlanetSide 2 actually is for those of you who are not too familiar with the whole game and the concept. PlanetSide 2 is an MMO FPS, massively multiplayer online first-person shooter, which has launched with 3 different continents that players can fight over. There's also 3 different factions: the Vanu, which I'm currently playing, the purple guys, the Terran Republic, which are the red guys, and the New Conglomerate, which are the blue guys. We each start, and basically you fight over these different continents. Each continent can hold approximately 2,000 players. Now, as you can see here, this is just one battle raging on Esamir, the snow continent, or the icy continent, whatever you want to call it. And this is just one of the battles. There are multiple battles of this scale or even larger raging throughout other parts of the continent. And then there's also battles going on other continents as well. You can switch between the continents as you spawn in. You can join up with your team. The battles are absolutely huge. Now, you can make a difference as a solo player, but teaming up with friends and joining up squads and trying to work together to achieve larger goals is tons of fun, and it's really what PlanetSide 2 is all about. Now, the depth of teamwork takes on new meaning when you add in all the vehicles that are available in PlanetSide 2. You have air vehicles, air transport vehicles, bomber type vehicles, basically air artillery vehicles called Liberators. Then you have ground vehicles, you have heavy tanks, you have lighter tanks, you have transports on the ground that can be deployed into mobile spawn stations to fuel the infantry war on the ground. So vehicles are just as much a part of the war that's raging as the infantry combat. And you can either choose to just focus solely on infantry combat. You can choose to focus solely on vehicle combat. If you wanted, you could focus just on being a pilot in this game. Personally, I think to get the best overall experience, you really want to try and experience all the different avenues of PlanetSide. And I've been really enjoying the flying, driving tanks, and the infantry combat. I think all of it is absolutely top-notch and rivals any other game out there that can provide any of these things. Now, I've shown a bit of beta footage on my channel earlier, and some people criticized that the graphics didn't look quite as good as some of the other modern shooters out there. Well, just look at this scene here. This is a full-on battle. There's base defenses, there's hundreds of infantry, there's massive tank battles going on, and the graphics look amazing. Now, unfortunately, because of the scale of the game and the processor requirements of the game, the art has had to be scaled back in certain aspects just to make it so that the engine can actually run for online stuff. For example, you'll notice that ragdoll physics aren't exactly a big part of this game. Most first-person shooters have had ragdoll physics implemented to their engine for a long time, but just because there's so many players in one battle at a time, ragdoll physics would just be a little bit too much information to transfer via the netcode. So you'll notice certain things in this game are not quite present graphically if you're used to them from other shooters, but at the same time the lighting engine is top notch and they have a real world day-night cycle. So you've got suns, you've got moons, you've got planets in the sky, and sometimes you'll be fighting on, say, Amerish, the more green and lush continent, and it'll be daytime in one of these big open forest battles. You'll come back there maybe another day fighting a similar battle near there, but it'll be nighttime and it changes things up completely. You have night vision scopes, you have certain vehicles that now become a little bit less useful. Infantry are easier to hide and get around with, so the air isn't quite as effective during nighttime engagements. Battles will change up based on the time of day. You don't get that kind of dynamicness in any other first-person shooter, and it's just something really awesome to behold. Now that's actually where I think PlanetSide's uniqueness lies. It's not specifically the scale of the battles, it's the fact that each battle is so different and unique. You could fight at the same control point or the same piece of territory a few times and have a completely different experience, a completely different battle each time. Now, I've been playing this game for 2 days, pretty full days of playing the game. I'm like rank 20 or maybe a little bit higher than that now on my Vanu character, and all the people that I've been playing this game with are just sort of not only amazed by the game itself, but they always say, I can't believe this game is a free-to-play title. This game is free. You can go download it if you have a capable PC, a capable gaming PC, and you can just go along and play with the rest of us. Without spending a dime, you can actually have an incredibly fun and engaging experience. Now, of course, you got to make some money if you're developing a game of this scale. This is not a small production by any means. And so, of course, you can buy stuff in-game to help speed up the process of your level up process, help you unlock guns faster than you normally would. But at the same time, none of the equipment or items in the game that allow you to be better in combat, like new guns or upgrades for your tank or jet or something like that, all of those things can be acquired by just playing the game without spending any money. If you do spend money, it'll speed up the time and make it a little bit easier for you to acquire new guns and equipment. And there's also aesthetic things like custom skull helmets or better looking armor for your infantry that will cost money but not actually improve your character. This is basically a really good system. I see it working out quite nicely. They're even experimenting with a little bit of a subscription model, which will give you some benefits as well, like increased XP gain, and you'll also have prioritized access to new items and stuff like that when they become available. Now, of course, this game has a few flaws here and there, as most do. One of the main ones is just the performance issue. And that is basically when you get into a pretty intense battle, your frames will drop. And this happens to people with really great graphics card setups because this game is so much more CPU bound than any other game out there. Your frames will drop extremely fast. The problem is that I know some people with extremely high-end CPUs that still get very low frame rate. So there's still some optimization to be done. Based on the change and improvement that I've seen in the frame rate since beta, I know the devs are working extremely hard in improving the game a lot. I've seen a huge bump in my frames since beta, and the devs have said that they're still working on more performance gains, and they're going to have some patches coming out soon to improve the frame rate that people are getting. There's of course still a few weird little bugs here and there. Sometimes you'll die for really odd reasons. I landed my scythe, my jet, basically on a landing pad to repair it, and it just basically exploded and said that I was flying too close to a vehicle pad, and that was kind of aggravating. Then there's other points where sometimes a friendly vehicle, a tank or something, will run you over. Instead of killing you, it'll put you through the map and you'll all of a sudden be falling through geometry. But based on that, those are kind of basic bugs that most titles have when they come out, and frankly, based on other games like, for example, Battlefield 3, when that game came out, it had 10 times more bugs than this game has, and this game has 10 times as many things in it as Battlefield 3 does. So that's really actually a testament, considering how many bugs most games have when they come out today. PlanetSide 2 is relatively bug-free if you compare it on that scale. And the dev team, I know, I've met a lot of the developers. They're all amazingly cool people who are super involved with the community. These guys want this game to be awesome, not just so they make money, but because they're all huge fans of the game themselves. They belong to clans, they play all the time, and that's just really a testament to having a great game that's fun to play. When you see all your devs playing the game and joining outfits and taking it seriously, you know you've got a title that's not only fun to play, but is going to have some amazing dev support, because they're all just as passionate about this game as we are. So in wrapping up this review here, I've only just scratched the surface of what PlanetSide 2 has to offer. It is the best first-person shooter I have ever played. I'll say that hands down. If you have the means to get this game, if you have a decent gaming computer, go try it out now. And if you don't have a decent gaming computer, this is the game that's worth building one for. It is the best game of the year, probably the best game of the next 5 years. It is just an absolutely amazing, revolutionary title. Go play it right now. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap, signing off.